My name is Emma and I am a beauty journalist based in Hertfordshire. I was born with a squint and it's something I've had my entire life. My right eye went upwards and outwards, so it was a vertical as well as a horizontal squint. And it was noticeable as a baby. And like when I look back at my baby pictures, you can definitely see it. But then growing up, I feel like you didn't notice it so much until perhaps like my teenage years. And then for me, it became quite noticeable once again. And especially at the age where alcohol was involved and I was stressed with A levels, I found that I was noticing it more and more. Making eye contact is a huge part of connecting with other people. And I just felt like I couldn't really do that in social situations. And I would start looking around the room, looking anywhere else but at the person's eyes. I would often just dread meeting new people. And that continued on like after university and when I went into the world of work. A day wouldn't go past where I didn't think about my eye. And quite often when I met new people, I'd be talking to them and then they would look behind to check if I was talking to someone behind them because my right eye was drifted up into the corner. And it was just like a daily thought, like at least daily, like it would pop into my head like, oh, like I'm going to have to meet that person or say hello to that person. They might not know where I'm looking. And it just makes you feel awkward. I don't think I knew anyone who had a squint. So I definitely felt alone in it. But it's one of those things where I would talk about it to like my family and my friends, and they would always say, like, Emma, it's not noticeable. Honestly, like we never notice it. But to me, it was really noticeable. And it was noticeable to me on a daily basis. Every time I looked in the mirror or every time I saw a picture of myself, it's all I could see. I used to like flip my photographs to make my eye look straighter. When I went for like meals with my friends, I always wanted to sit in a certain position. So I was looking one way and not the other way, so that I was always talking towards my right because that's when my eyes looked the straightest. Whereas if I looked to my left, my squint eye would kind of shoot up into the corner. I think it was December 21. And I was nervous. I remember feeling like a mix of like nerves and excitement. And then I saw him, and yeah, he's just very like calm as a person, really reassuring. And the first thing he said to me was like, yes, like you're a suitable candidate for squint surgery. And just hearing those words was like, wow, okay, amazing. I left that consultation with Mr. Nadim Ali knowing I was going to have surgery. I think I just knew inside, like my gut feeling was like, this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I want to do. The first thing I did was like call my mum and was like, oh my God, I can have surgery. Like there's an option. Something that Mr. Nadim Ali said to me was, it's not vanity surgery. Like you have an abnormality and we're correcting that. And then I came away being like, this is 100% what I want to do. And yeah, just went for it. It's just a smooth, quick process. And yeah, I mean, I knew going into it, I'd already been told how long the surgery will be and when to arrive and when I'll likely leave. So I knew it'd be quick, but it feels even quicker when you're in the moment. You're like, oh, wow, it's done just like that. Something you've been waiting for your entire life, done in like an hour. I would say my recovery took probably 8 months in total to get to a point where it's like you couldn't see any redness. So yeah, which is what I was expecting. Probably like by month 4, once like the redness had really subsided and you couldn't really tell I'd had surgery, I felt so much more confident. I just like looked in the mirror and I was like, oh wow, I was like my eyes are straight, and I felt really happy with the results. I quickly noticed I was going out and about, ordering my coffee, and I just wasn't thinking about my eye. And that was the moment I think it clicked where I was like, oh wow, like I don't have to think about my eye anymore. And it's just like a subconscious thing. You just stop thinking about it. And it's just so nice. In the past, if I had like a hen do or like a group trip, and quite often I went on press events, I would constantly think and worry about my eye and meeting new people. And obviously with a hen do, it's like you end up drinking and like all of those factors that I knew like stress drinking would make my eye worse. It would just be at the top of my mind. Whereas now it's like I just don't have to think about it and it just doesn't even cross my mind, which is amazing. I think that's the moment where it clicked. It was like, oh wow, like I'm ordering a coffee and I'm not worried about the barista turning around thinking I'm speaking to someone behind him. It was the best decision I made, and just not having to think about my eye in social situations is amazing. And yeah, my confidence has improved, and yeah, it's just not something I ever think about anymore. And before, where I would like flip photos, edit photos, worry about where I was positioned at a dinner table so that my eye didn't look a certain way, I just don't think about any of that anymore. And it is such a weight off my shoulders. And yeah, I would recommend it to anyone, to be honest.